Raptors a few years ago, and we'll get into that in a minute, but they showed me a photo. They did a Swainson's hawk. Light morph is consistent all the time, so is dark, but in between they have 7 photos in between showing 7 different plumages in between light and dark. Light intermediate to dark intermediate to median tone. So it's not a morphological condition, it's a plumage condition. Morphological condition is permanent. This is not. So I'm breaking from tradition, and when I did it on Advanced Hawk ID, I got attacked by people. And enough so that it was so disturbing, Jerry cursed and just said, I don't give an S what you call it. And I said to the woman, I'm never posting on your site again. No, I said, this is not right. These are the two, this guy is the god, and you don't go against Jerry Liguri. So anyway, so I put this in the book for red-shouldered hawk, broad-winged hawk, the subspecies of red-shouldered adults and juveniles, to let the average or expert birder see the differences between the plumage conditions of these birds that have different morphological conditions. So that's why I put this one up. But Pete's going to jump on in a second. I have to go backwards and get off of it. Anyway, I'll wait till I hear his voice. So I brought Pete with me tonight to talk to you a little bit before I start. And there he is. I got 3 more minutes. And that's loud. Yeah, Sean said, too loud. I shared a story with Ursula and Dave, and I said I wasn't going to do it tonight, but I must, because my first hawk watching was at a ridge in New Jersey called Raccoon Ridge. Raccoon Ridge is east of Hawk Mountain on one of the same northeast to southwest ridges, except they get 20% more birds in every species that Hawk Mountain does on the same day, every day. So people said, why don't you go to Hawk Mountain? Well, anyway, the hawk watcher up there was a fellow by the name of Tom Lauro. And hawk watchers are a rare breed. They put up with adversity, they put up with weather, they put up with everything, and they don't complain. And they keep coming back. And so Tom was a Vietnam veteran. He always wore his army jacket, big imposing figure, and he had post-traumatic stress disorder, but not when he was on the ridge. And so one day, October 19th, 1987, Pete Dunn was there, Bill Boyle, myself. After 12 days of low pressure, we went up there, and every record that was ever set was going to be broken that day. And I mean, not just broken. Their previous high count for Merlin was 17. When I got there at 10 o'clock, they were up to 20. Inland ridges don't get a lot of falcons and accipiters. So all day these records were broken. 900 red tails, 1,000 sharpies. The average was between 20 and 50 a day. It was one of those days. So comes the end of the day, it's getting dark. We had to walk a mile down the hill on the east side, so it was dark. So Bill and I waited until the end, and Tom was up to 68 Merlin. He said, you can't leave till we hit 70. I said, but Tom, we can't get down the hill. He says, I can do it in the dark. I said, well, we can't. So anyway, we go down to Little Coon, which is the below where he keeps the hawk decoy, and I turned around, and I told this to Dave and Ursula before, and I usually can't get through this story without getting very emotional. I turned around and I saw silhouetted against this ochre sky, this big imposing figure with his binoculars up, scanning the skies, refusing to leave that watch. And I just stood there and just, if you could feel my skin, there's nothing but goosebumps to this day. And I turned around and I realized at that point, this is the dedication that hawk watchers have that most people don't know about. And so there was Tom. We're just about to dive into the woods. We hear 69. And I'm like, Bill, we got to, no, we can't. We start heading down the hill, we hear 70. Okay, so we're going down the hill, and Tom went down to take the owl decoy down, and the 71st Merlin came in after dark and went after the decoy. So I wrote a Peaceful Wild Bird magazine about it called The 71st Merlin. And just one page captured the devotion, intensity, passion, and love of raptors that hawk watchers have that the world needed to know about. And you guys know about it. I did the story.